Well, hello everyone. My name is Andrew Klein. Welcome back to my Denver shop. I'm finally getting around to framing the walls here in the basement, which sounds simple, but for two reasons actually is pretty complicated, or at least more challenging than you might think. So the first reason, you can see here on the landing for the stairs, this is existing construction, how the bottom stud is floating on these nails. And the reason that they do that in Denver is because the soil has a high bentonite concentration and it can expand, which means that this floor can float up or down depending on moisture, I guess, conditions. I'm not exactly sure why this is. Code requirement, I have to pull permits for this project, so I have to do it regardless. It doesn't entirely make sense to me that this floor can move independently of this support that's holding the house up. So somehow the floor must be moving in a way that the posts that are connected to a footer are exempt from. I don't know why bentonite would move one and not the other, but honestly it's something I have to do for code, so I haven't really asked a whole lot of questions. It's just kind of a thing that you comply with. So that's reason number one. And also, I'm going to do everything that I can to soundproof this basement. We're going to be here for a long time, and I want to be able to come down here and use saws and hammer on things and make a whole lot of noise in the middle of the day on a Saturday when my wife wants to quietly read a book and not have her disturbed at all. So I'm going to need to pull out every trick in the book to get this place soundproofed. And drywall is great for soundproofing, but it's even better if you can have the drywall isolated with vibration dampening boots that are attached to the studs that the drywall is anchored to. So the combination of that sound dampening technique and this floor expansion bentonite thing makes the framing in the basement kind of complicated. So let's get to it. So to get started, I picked this nice open section of the wall, but even here I had some obstructions from the way that upper pipe is hung, so I had to move that before getting started so it didn't interfere with the frame. And I know standard construction practice is swinging hammers or using a nail gun. I don't have a nail gun. I've never been real great at using nails. I'm just used to screws, so that's why you're going to see me using screws for this framing effort. It's just what I'm used to. So I secure the top 2x4 to the floor joists. Oh yes, and I'm also using pocket holes for framing. Also not something you typically see, but something I'm much more comfortable with than trying to do this with nails. So this second 2x4 is what is going to hold the ISO brackets, which you can see right here. Thank you to Acoustiguard for hooking me up with these and giving me advice. These are what cause the drywall to absorb more sound and be better for soundproofing because they're isolated and can vibrate independently of the rest of the house. So with those ISO brackets attached, I can now use a third 2x4, and now that lower 2x4 will be isolated from the rest of the house as far as sound is concerned. And to make sure I get these walls level, I use a plumb bob to mark out the floor of the shop where the lower 2x4 goes. So I draw a pretty picture to represent where that 2x4 will be. And the same thing on the other side. So per code, this has to be a pressure treated piece, that's why it's darker. I use concrete anchors to secure that to the floor. It's kind of nice that they're using this brown stain instead of that green stuff for pressure treated wood. If you're building a deck or something, I think this would look a lot better. So I put together a second piece that will also be isolated with the ISO brackets. I'm not sure if this is quite as necessary on the lower section. Acoustigard, feel free to comment in the comments below for everyone to know, but I went ahead and did it. If I get some feedback that it's not necessary, then I'll stop doing that. Okay, so these are the nails that allow the wall to float and not cause problems if the bentonite pushes the floor up. So I pre-drill holes down partially into that lower pressure treated piece, because trying to pound these nails through would just split the wood, I would have to imagine. I use those clamps to get everything lined up. So I drive the nails through the top 2x4 and then get everything aligned and pound them partway into the lower 2x4. And then I put the little L-shaped 2x4 assembly that will be isolated. Unfortunately, I'm screwing this all up. So I managed to screw this up. See, these nails are supposed to allow for 3 inches of travel of this board relative to this board if the floor magically moves 3 inches. And as you can see, that's not going to be possible because the way I've put this together, this board is in the way, and if this pushes down, the nail head will just run into this board. And it won't work. So I have a feeling if the inspector sees it this way, he'll make me redo it. So this is all going to have to change, but I'm not up for it right now. So I'm going to bed. Okay, so with a good night's sleep and a cup of coffee, I can work much faster. Look at how fast I'm going. And you can see now there's plenty of room for that nail to push up and allow it to function like it's supposed to. So we're all good now. Now it's just a matter of connecting the top and the bottom. And it's finished. Well, I hope you found this interesting. Just a couple more things to mention. First of all, although these videos aren't really coming out all that frequently, I am posting to Instagram. I'm trying to do that every day. So if you want to just kind of follow progress in the shop, I'm aklein2303 on Instagram, and you can at least see some pictures of what I'm working on and get a little bit more of a sense of the day-to-day, what's happening down here. Also, this is the second video in a row that's a sponsorship of sorts. The last video I showed how I installed the LED lights from American Green Lights, and today I talked about Acoustigard. The reason that I took both of those sponsorships in the form of free products that I can use is that I thought they were interesting. I thought they were relevant for the audience, something that hasn't gotten a lot of coverage and that I thought you'd find interesting. And also it helps me out a lot just because they're not only sharing their products, they're sharing their expertise with me, and that helps me get the shop set up. So that's why I'm doing that. I don't think that sponsorships are going to be a big part of this channel going forward. Maybe here and there as it makes sense, as I find something interesting that I think you'll like and that helps me out a lot. So please let me know what you think about sponsorships, about those two in particular, if you found them interesting or if you hate it. Hopefully not. So that's it for this time. I probably won't do any more framing videos because it's just going to be more of the same with the slight variations of dealing with obstacles like the pipes. I'll take some Instagram pics as I go, and that'll probably be that for the framing. So wish me luck on the rest of that, and I'll see you soon. As I go, and that'll probably be that for the framing. So wish me luck on the rest of that, and I'll see you soon. I'll see you soon. They'll see you soon. It doesn't work both ways. I never know how to end these things.